Everyone, welcome back to ChaatNChat. My name is Josh.
My name is Miguel.
And we are watching the movie I. Not iMovie. Miguel said if I say iMovie, it sounds like an Apple product. Which this is not sponsored by Apple. It is the movie, quote, I, unquote. This is part 3. So if you have not watched part 1 or part 2, then you can go check both of those out by clicking the playlist link in the description of this video, where you can go catch up on those and join us back here. And if you're interested, after this whole reaction thing, we have a comment and review and rating, that sort of thing. So don't miss it. And if you haven't yet, please consider subscribing, sharing, and upvote the video by slapping the like button.
Hey, cut out the video. Na bathroom pono.
What is she? She's got moves of her own.
Is she getting it? Why is it shaking like that?
Solle. Yaar nee? Lingeesanoda phone unkita eppadi vanduchu? Lingeesanukku unakku enna sambandham? Nee da avana edho pannita. Enna panna?
No, she certainly does not understand yet.
Doctor, பாருங்க டாக்டர். திடீர்னு இவ்ளோ முடி கொட்டுது.
கண்ட தண்ணில குளிச்சா முடி கொட்டத்தான் செய்யும். என்ன நேரமும் ஹெவி லைட்லயே நிக்கிற. சூடு தாங்காமே முடி கொட்டும். கவலைப்படாத. இந்த மெடிசன் எடுத்துக்கோ.
டாக்டர், எனக்கு கொத்த முடி கொட்டுச்சு. இன்னைக்கு பல்ல விழுது. எனக்கு என்னாச்சு டாக்டர்?
Right off the bat, I'm no doctor, but I would say you have been poisoned in some way. I'm sorry, you're not a very good doctor. These two together are a sign that you have a chemical something going on, and you should be running blood tests to find out what your blood work.
Yeah, you really need to do something else. Like,
I'm sorry, Lingesan. It's kind of kyphosis. Muscular atrophy, osteoporosis னு சொல்லுவாங்க. Aging fast-ஆ இருக்கும்.
சீக்கிரமா செத்துறேன் டாக்டர்.
சொல்ல முடியாது.
dude, he just found out his world is like gonna end.
இன்னும் எவ்வளவு நாள் இந்த வீட்ல இப்படி உட்கார்ந்துட்டு இருக்க போற? உன்னை காணாம உங்க அப்பா அம்மா சோறு தண்ணி நாம தேடிட்டு இருக்காங்கடா.
எனக்கு இலஞ்சி மால்க்கு கூட்டிட்டு போடா.
And he's got to be taking that extra hard too, because for someone who's been fit his whole life and all about body image, going to this is next level messed up. And no one wants their loved one to look at him like that. That was revolting disgust.
She's gonna give him some money.
Alms. Yeah.
It's really hard to see. But if you're not recognized, it's hard to... Tried to kill himself.
Oof, that got really dark.
கொஞ்ச நாள் முன்னாடி டிவி பெட்டியில பார்த்தனே, நல்லா தானே இருந்தாரு.
அதான் டாக்டர் எங்களுக்கும் புரியல.
சரி, அவருடைய மெடிக்கல் ரிப்போர்ட்ஸ் எல்லாம் இருந்தா கொண்டு வாங்க.
What if the doctor was in on it?
அண்ணாத போனோம் சார், நீ கேட்ட சைஸ்ல கரெக்டா இருக்கான்னு செக் பண்ணிக்கங்க.
விஷயம் வெளியே தெரியாம பாத்துக்கோ.
Oh no. So they're fake his death. It's hard, but I mean, to give her closure.
Yeah.
If not, then she'd be strung along the entire time. So I understand why he did it.
Yeah.
Dear bad news. அம்மா சீரியஸா இருக்காங்க. உடனே ஹாஸ்பிடலுக்கு வா. அம்மா சாப்பிடவே மாட்டேங்கறாங்க. சுகர் லெவல் டவுன் ஆயிட்டே இருக்கு. இப்படியே போச்சுன்னா கோமால தான் முடியும்.
Her diabetes.
நீ கல்யாணம் பண்ணிக்க. எப்படிமா பிடிவாதம் பிடிக்காத. சாப்பிடுமா.
நீ பிடிவாதம் பிடிக்கலாம். நான் பிடிக்க கூடாதா? நீ இப்படி இருக்கிறத பார்க்கிறதுக்கு நான் உயிரோட இருக்கணும்.
We've seen this before. It's almost like emotional blackmail with like getting married and like, I'm not gonna.
அம்மாவை காப்பாத்துறது உன் கையில தான் இருக்கு.
And even I'm like, oh.
Horrible. I won't take medicine or anything unless you get married. I don't care if your fiance just died.
நிறைய பேரை பார்த்தோம். எல்லாருமே தியாவும் லீயும் லவ் பண்ணத காரணம் காட்டி பின்வாங்கிட்டாங்க.
இதுல என்ன இருக்கு ஆண்டி? எனக்கு பாஸ் பத்திலாம் கவலை இல்லை.
virus?
இன்னைக்கு ஃபோன் பண்ணி அங்கிள் எனக்கு ஒன்றும் பிரச்சனை இல்லை, ஆனால் என் ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ் எல்லாம் லியோ தியாவும் இவ்வளோ நாள் ஒன்றா சுற்றிருக்காங்களே, எப்படியோ எல்லாத்தையும் முடிச்சிருப்பாங்கல்லடான்னு கேட்குறாங்க. எனக்கே ஒரு தம்பி இருந்திருந்தா சந்தோஷமா கல்யாணம் பண்ணி வச்சிருப்பேன். விடுங்க.
This was his plan the entire time. See? He's been in love with her ever since she was a child. Liar.
வேற யாராவது பார்க்கலாம்.
இதையே தான் குத்தி காட்ட போறாங்க. எங்களை நல்லா புரிஞ்சுக்கிட்டது நீங்க ஒருத்தர் தான். சொல்லுங்க டாக்டர்.
It's his plan the whole time, and who better to make him this way?
உங்களை விட வேற யாரும் தியாவை நல்லா பார்த்துக்க முடியாது டாக்டர்.
ஐயோ, நான் எப்படி லிங்கேசன்?
டாக்டர் ப்ளீஸ்.
ஏய் லிங்கேசன்.
சரி சொல்லுங்க டாக்டர்.
ஏய் லிங்கேசன், என்ன இது?
You really... Oh, he's a monster. The doctor is horrible. Ever since the beginning, he's been super protective of her. He doesn't want her to call him uncle because it makes him seem older than her. He wants her to call her by his name. Like, it's been weird this whole time.
Okay.
I think he's manipulated the situation so that he could marry her the whole time. And the medical reports are going to show something completely different.
உனக்கு வந்திருக்கிறது வியாதி இல்ல, வைரஸ். நான் ஒரு ரிப்போர்ட் எல்லாம் பார்த்தேன். இது டிசீஸோ ஜெனடிக் டிசார்டரோ இல்ல, டேஞ்சரஸ் வைரஸ்.
They keep doing that vibration thing.
யாராவது உடம்புல செலுத்தி இருந்தா தான் உண்டு. நாளைக்கு காலையில வீட்டுல வந்து பாரு.
Hold on a sec.
Yep. See, he's buddies with the doctor.
எங்கள ஆப்படிச்சிலடா, அதான் எல்லாரும் சேர்ந்து உன்னை சூப்படிச்சிட்டோம்டா.
ஏன் ப்ராடக்ட்டுக்கு போஸ்ட் பண்ண மாட்டேனிய? இந்த மூஞ்சி வச்சிட்டு இப்ப எந்த ப்ராடக்ட் போஸ்ட் பண்ணுவேன்? சரியா சுஜுகா?
All that revenge is making a lot more sense.
Yeah.
இவங்கெல்லாம் சேர்ந்து தான் என்ன ஏதோ பண்ணிட்டாங்க டாக்டர். எனக்கு ஏதோ ஊசி போட்டு தான் இப்படி ஆயிட்டேன்.
உனக்கு ஊசி போட்டதே அவர்தான்டா. அவர்தான்டா மெயின் வில்லன்.
The mastermind of it all. The cool player.
எப்படி? ஓ ஹார்ட்பீட் கேக்குறியா?
Told you, like that's a whole nother level of a relationship he wanted.
Bye.
Hey, உன்கிட்ட ஒரு சீக்ரெட் சொல்லணும்.
என்ன? ஏய், பொறுக்கி கொன்னுடுவேன்.
Oh no. Oh god, man.
ஒருத்தன் உதடு பட்டதுக்கு சூடு வச்ச. ஓ உடம்பு பூரா பட்டிருக்க. எனக்கு எப்படிடா இருக்கும்? இன்ஃப்ளூயன்சா வைரஸ் H4N2 வெரி டேஞ்சரஸ். அது ஸ்விட்சர்லாண்டில் இருக்கிற ரால்ஸ் ஜெனோமிக் ரிசர்ச் சென்டரில் இருக்கு.
Oh. That's where that cheap shot came from. He's such a James Bond villain too.
And they've used a lot of CGI and other visual effects.
போலீஸ்க்கு போவியா ஏற்கனவே செத்துட்டடா நீ உனக்கு டெத் சர்டிபிகேட் வாங்கி கொடுத்ததே நான் தான்டா
no one else in the room thinks the doctor's a pervert for being in love with her since she was 10. Like that is
அவனை மூட்டையா கட்டி எங்கேயாவது பூட்டி வச்சிடு கல்யாணம் முடிஞ்சதும் போட்டு தள்ளிடு பாடியை எரிச்சி எலும்பை பொடியாக்கி சாம்பலோட சேர்த்து பூவத்துல கரைச்சிடு.
That was quick thinking. That's still a little over the top,
yeah,
like knocking her out, but it's like I'll explain when we get back to the base.
Oh, it's time to visit the doctor.
Doctor's pretty smart though. Yeah. Trap.
என்ன மச்சான் பொருள் வச்சிருப்பான்னு பார்த்தா பொற வச்சுக்கிறான்.
Oh, ouch. Yeah, that hurts.
Buddy dog, come get him.
தியாவை எங்கடா கொண்டு வச்சிருக்க சொல்லு எங்க
Sick him. Get him.
Ha. And the dog has never had vaccines either, so.
வெரோரா 5 டோஸ் இமிடியேட்டா வீட்டுக்கு கொண்டு வாங்க.
ஓகே டாக்டர்.
என்னால தான் இப்படி ஆயிட்டு. என்னால தான் இப்படி ஆயிட்டு லிங்கேஷ்.
நல்லது தானே பண்ண. இந்த உலகம் அப்படி ஒருத்தர் நல்லா இருந்தா இங்க நிறைய பேருக்கு ஆகாது. இதுக்கு நீ காரணம் இல்லை. அழாத.
ஏன் இப்படி பிரிச்சு பேசுற லிங்கேஷ்? இனிமே நான் உன் கூட தான் இருப்பேன் கடைசி வரைக்கும்.
நிலுபா யாரு பிரஸ் சார்.
Oh, that dude got it so bad. He crispy.
நல்லா இருந்தனா நாசமாயிட்டேன்னு ஒரு கவர் ஸ்டோரி போட போறோம். அப்படியே ஒரு போட்டோ எடுத்துறேன். அந்த டபுள் ஆம் பைசெப் போஸ் கொடுங்க சார். வெளியே போ சார். பிரஸ் சார். ஏங்க அவரை தொந்தரவு பண்ணி வாக்கும் இல்ல மூலமும் இல்ல எல்லாம் வெந்து போச்சு. இதுல எங்க இந்த வாக்கு மூலம் வாங்க போறீங்க? நீங்க பாருங்க வெறும் காத்து தான் வருது. பட்டாப்பா தந்தூரி ரவி பாருங்க சார்.
நான் ஓஸ்மா.
Hey, ஓஸ்மா என்ன இப்படி ஆயிட்ட? கேசவர்தினா இல்ல வடை சுட்டு சாப்பிட்டியா?
Nonsense, just get out of here.
Not out. ஏதாவது கொஞ்சம் பேசுமா? ஐயோ காஞ்சோரிங் போய் கத்த ஆரம்பிச்சிருச்சுடா.
He is there just to rub salt in the wound.
நல்லா இருந்தனா நாசமாயிட்டேன்னு ஒரு கவர் ஸ்டோரி போட போறோம். புள்ளியார் மாதிரி இருந்த நீங்க ஏன் இப்படி புள்ளியார் சதுர்த்தி கொழுக்கட்டை மாதிரி ஆயிட்டீங்க? தண்ணி வாயினா இருந்த உங்களை பண்ணி வாயினா ஆக்கந்து யாரு? அடிக்க வர
உடம்புல என்னத்தை தடவை தேனியை கொட்ட விட்டானே தெரியல. வீக்கம் வடியவே மாட்டேங்குது.
எங்களை எப்போ பழையபடி மாத்த போறீங்க? எப்போ சொல்லுங்க.
Calm down, please, calm down.
Yeah, John hasn't gotten anything yet.
கூனே உங்க ரெண்டு பேருக்கும் என்ன லுக் வச்சிருக்கான்னு யோசிச்சு பார்த்தேன். சரி வந்துடுச்சு.
Shut up.
Oh.
மிஸ்டர் ஜானுக்கு ஒரு இன்விடேஷன் வந்திருக்கு.
அடுத்தவா ஃபைல்.
யார் கொடுத்தது? யாரோ பிரஸ் ரிப்போர்ட்டர் சார். கொடுத்துட்டு இப்பதான் கீழ போயிட்டு இருக்காரு.
Falling into the trap already.
That was a planned. I think he's like, yeah, wants him to follow him.
Yeah, of course. fall into my lair.
Just checking over my shoulder to make sure you didn't lose me yet.
Ice cream.
ரவிக்கு நெருப்பு, ஓஸ்மாக்கு மயிறு, இந்திரகுமாருக்கு தேனி. எனக்கு என்னடா வச்சிருக்க?
நீ முக்கியமான வில்லன் இல்லையா? அதுக்கும் மேல கடைசியா ஒரு தடவை அழகான முகத்தை பார்த்துக்கோ. You creep, ugly pig, son of shit! I will kill you!
Oh, that was a trippy camera move. It was neat.
Well, obviously none of this is planned.
It would... Ew, oh, that was sick. How did he get up from there?
Don't know.
Just cut straight to this. Oh, the acid! It comes back to bite him. Oh, dang, it's not acid. Should have been acid. Should have planned that one better. Oh, remember he was counted, like he was on the tracks earlier.
Oh, that's right.
Oh my God, he planned all of that? Oh, I took one of his arms off too.
Maybe the dog was infected?
No, remember he called for medication because he got the dog bite?
Yes.
I wonder if he put it in his medication.
நான் இருந்தா உன்னோட தான் இருப்பேன்.
நான் செத்து போன வந்தியா? எனக்கு ஊர் இல்ல, பேர் இல்ல, அட்ரஸ் இல்ல. I am nothing. நாம சேர்ந்து வாழ சான்ஸே இல்ல.
நான் உன்ன மாதிரியா இருந்தேனா என்னை விட்டுட்டு போயிருப்பியா? ரெண்டு பேருமே கண்காணாத இடத்துக்கு போயிருவோம்.
Some hill station medicine. Oh, has he not seen?
He hasn't seen it. He hasn't been there.
Oh.
இங்க யாரும் வர மாட்டாங்க. நீ நானும் மட்டும்தான். காலம் பூரா இப்படியே கை கோத்து நடக்கலாம்.
ஜானா இது தீஞ்சு போன போனுதார் இது. நாங்க ஆப்பு பத்தில இருந்து வரோம். எக்ஸ்கியூஸ் மீ, நல்லா இருந்தனா நாசமாயிட்டேன். சீசன் 2 கவர் ஸ்டோரி பண்ண வந்திருக்கோம். டேய், என்னடா எதுக்கு எடுத்தாலும் வெண்ணிலடை மூர்த்தி ஃபிகரை கூப்பிடுற மாதிரி பக்கு பக்கு பக்குன்னு சவுண்ட் கொடுக்குற?
God, he's so insulting.
Oh man, it's like elephant legs.
அழக பத்தி சொன்னோனே செல்லத்துக்கு வெக்கத்தை பாறேன். ஆமா, இது என்ன காலா இல்ல சுருட்டி வச்ச பெட்டா? ஏண்டா கர்ணகிழங்கு மண்டையா, உனக்கு நாய் கடிச்சா எப்படியாச்சு நினைக்கிறேன்?
Mm-hmm.
நல்ல முட்டையை
That's why he was researching that, right? Like
That's
what
right.
the medication would be, so he knew what to put the fake box in. Very clever. This guy thought everything through.
அந்த பீ முட்டைய தான் 5 நாளைக்கு ஒரு தடவைன்னு 5 தடவை நீ போட்டுக்கிட்ட. நீ போட்டது வைரஸ் ஐனா இது அதுக்கும் மேல ஐ தலக்கா ஐ
Maybe the doctor that was able to diagnose it in the first place can help him a little bit.
Maybe this is getting injections.
Oh, a good husband will always say, fantastic, good, wonderful.
Wow, very romantic. Oh, it's her favorite too, right? The pasta that she was talking about?
Yeah.
His hair's coming back. It's getting, it's working. Yeah, so there was hope for him. He was getting better. It was working. The therapy, everything he was doing. And she never gave up hope. Like, even when they didn't even have hope, she was just like, hey, it's just you and me. We'll live in this place. And it's true love.
It's definitely a different spin on Beauty and the Beast, as well as Hunchback of Notre Dame. Yeah, I liked it. You know, at first it was confusing on what was going on because we kept having that whole thing of the weird, you know, like flashback, something was happening and we couldn't quite put our finger on it at first, and then we started realizing it was the time thing. So I like that. This is a great revenge story. And you love that it becomes a double whammy that comes back, comes back on the people that you reap what you sow. You know, you put bad in the world and guess what? Bad can come back on you. Yeah, I liked it. It was really good. Really, really good. I liked it. There were some scenes that the CGI was amazing in lots of places. The dance numbers, that one that was with all the animals, the creatures, I think that was very impressive. Very, very impressive. And even the other one where they were doing all of the montage of all the commercials and everything, that one was really, really cool. There were some great commercials in there too.
Yeah, like a high production value. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I'm going to give this a 9. I really liked this.
Okay.
All the way through, I was like, have I seen anything like this before? No, I haven't. Not a really good revenge like this where it had twists that you didn't expect, but I really liked it. I really liked it. It had a good overall. It kept me engaged with, okay, what's going to happen next? What's going to, and we've seen how these, normally it's league of super guys get together. And then this had this league of super villains get together. And at the end of the day, they all went down. So, and it was just one guy. So I'm like, well, him and his bicycle friend and his furry pet. So, I liked it. I thought it was really, really good.
I was definitely expecting a different movie because in the very beginning, their little text there said Beauty and the Beast. And the traditional Beauty and the Beast story goes, he was so into himself, he was so vain and like thinking he was better than everyone else, and so he was cursed to become this monster, to become on the outside what he is on the inside.
Right.
And only once his inside changed, like his inner beauty changed, then his outside would reflect that, right? And so I expected this movie to follow that same path where he became famous and a beautiful model and super successful, and then people, like he started making enemies because he started putting people down. And that's where I thought it was going. But this was definitely a different spin that I wasn't expecting. So it's unique because he got turned into a monster, but really he wasn't, his insides were still good, and she saw him on the outside, but as soon as she realized it was him, she could look past all of that.
Yeah.
And because on the inside, he was still who he was.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I like that. I always like a theme where it's like, look past all the superficial things and see somebody for who they actually are and not what they are on the outside, that sort of thing.
Well, and also an element, just to throw in as I'm thinking of it, is that he wanted to be true to himself even from the very get-go, because he didn't want to touch her and all of that, and he couldn't be familiar with her, even if he was acting. Okay, he's so innocent, and he's not from the big city and not from the modern, kind of interactions and so forth. So he was very traditional, and I think that definitely played in to that whole bit of what you're saying about who he was internal. Okay. Because that was a huge part of him.
He never lost that, because once she said no, because when she came, the truth came out that she actually didn't love him at the time, he was like, look, it hurts a lot, but I'd rather you be honest with me. And he's like, look, let's be professionals. And he's like, I understand now how this is all done. I'm going to do it. And then we can just be like that. It's fine. And he stayed his distance. He respected her wishes. And then it's only when she was ready for a bigger relationship did they move forward. Yeah. And I think that was a super respectful thing to do. And it was in super contrast compared to all the other guys and girls in the story. And it's like, okay, it was super cringe to see so many of them.
Well, and then super cringe happened way back at the end, towards the end, when we figured it out with the doctor. Oh God!
Well, and from the very beginning,
you had
it culturally, from the very beginning, when he said, "Don't call me uncle," I was like, well, that's a respect for someone that's older, and you are older than her. And so the only reason that I can think of him not wanting her to call him uncle is because he doesn't see that relationship.
He wanted to be more familiar.
Yeah. So I thought about that through the whole movie. Every time we saw him, I'm just like, this guy's a little he's just a doctor and he's like a family friend, but yet he's trying to be so close to her.
And I thought, was there something with the mom that he was trying to spin off of, at one point, and then just the way he manipulated her to say, this is all in your hands, her death, her life, her death. I was just like,
I mean,
but
he played it perfectly. He really did.
Yeah, and he played a long game, which that's super cringe, man. Yeah. You think about it, someone who plays a long game like that, means, and that makes you go back and look at everything as they did, everything all the way back, and you're just like, oh.
But one thing that wasn't really highlighted in this movie is when something like this happens in the workplace and people don't step up and talk about it, because it was obvious. Everyone knew. Everyone knew on set in the beginning with her and John. And then once Ozma was being sexually harassing him, it was like no one was saying anything. Yeah. And and even Dia laughed it off and was like, ha 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 ha. Yeah. She's just just be patient with her because she's fine. And it's like, no, that is not fine. Yeah. And when you let those sort of things go on without saying something, or stepping in and saying this is wrong. And even when John went and said, "Are you blacklisting me?" and she's like, "Oh no, they just went with another route." No, you are blacklisted, buddy. You're a sick asshole that you need to be taken down.
Yeah, you need to stop with the excessive womanizing and behaviors and so forth. Yeah.
So I just maybe wish that was more of a thing, because they were definitely talking about sexual harassment and all that, because it was a big theme going throughout this entire movie, especially with him being the way he was, that he wouldn't fully touch her, and he wanted to make sure that in all the pictures his arm and hands were visible, so that in those pictures you could see look, I'm being respectful and I'm not actually getting in her space, and for them to kind of maybe drop the ball a little bit. But I still like the unique story. There was maybe some weird editing choices that, with how the editors cut the scenes and whatnot, that I get it. If you didn't shoot something right and you had to scrap it, you just have to make do.
You make do, yeah.
So I noticed that a couple times. Yeah. But again, the story makes up for it. There was a beautiful song. The song where he was as Beast, and singing, and she was in the cage, like that song. There weren't any subtitles, so I don't really know what the song meant, but it was beautiful.
It was.
It was just like, I felt it, and their acting really drew me in. I haven't felt a song and performance like that in a really long time. It's very rare that we're watching these movies and a song hits me like that.
It was very operatic, and many operas are in Italian or other languages, and you don't know the words and everything, but yet
the performance,
the feeling, the gesturing and everything, and the tone of the singing and so forth, and the music can pull you in, even though you can't understand the words, and that definitely
because you could feel his like heartbreak and all of that, and by watching them interact with each other, you could feel how he doesn't feel like he's good enough for her, and that he's pulling away because he's expecting her to pull away, that she's not going to be able to accept him for who he is. And I mean, I think a lot of people can deal with that, like understand these sort of emotions, even if they aren't as disfigured on the outside. But there's something maybe that we feel that
we're not
like
enough.
we have something, we have limitations, or that we have faults that people won't be able to love us for. And I feel like that we have to accept those, and when we accept those, maybe we give other people a chance to accept them as well. So I don't know, beautiful movie. I need to rate it. I'm gonna give it an 8 because I thought it was a unique story and all that, but just the VFX were just really good. And the prosthetics, I'm gonna hand it to the prosthetics team. That was solid. A lot of the times when I watch movies that have heavy prosthetics on faces, you can see seams, you can see makeup marks. This was clean. This was really well done. So I was really impressed by all of that. So, like, technically speaking, this movie was amazing, and I'd rate that like perfect. But there were editing things that I didn't really, and then I wish people spoke up more and made it more about like in the workplace environment, speaking against that. But still, so I give it 8 out of 10. Thank you for the recommendation. I really enjoyed this movie. It was fun. I wish Yogi Babu had a bigger part. He was literally just in there. I think he had like 1 or 2 lines, and that was it. I was like, then towards the end of the movie, I'm like, where'd Yogi go?
Yeah, well, and the guy that was doing trying to be the next Chitti.
Yeah, I have no idea. He didn't get that part, though. We know.
Obviously not.
Akshay Kumar stepped into that role. Okay. Well, thank you so much for the recommendation. We really appreciate it. And, let us know in the comments. What would you rate it? How did you like it? I know that there were quite a few fans because I got the recommendations. But, let us know. Always interested to hear. And if you haven't yet, please consider subscribing, sharing, and upvote this video by slapping the like button.